Longtime fans of the show should be familiar with the lender formerly known as Sue Pullen, and I'm pleased to announce that she's back, fresh off a rebrand and ready to help as Sue Mackey. Sue is a certified mortgage advisor at Fairway Independent Mortgage, an equal housing lender who focuses on finding the right product for you and your needs. She has over 20 years of experience helping thousands of homeowners. Whether it's purchasing, refinancing, or even a reverse mortgage, Sue will help. Sue's licensed in 36 states now, so reach out and let Sue Mackey it happen for you. The best way to reach her is just give her a call at 520-977-7904 or in an email, spullen@fairwaymc.com. Fairway Independent Mortgage has an MLS number of 2289. Sue Mackey has an MLS number of 206048. That email again, spullen@fairwaymc.com, and that phone number is 520-977-7904. Shoot Sue an email and let her know she needs to update that address. Disclaimer time. This is where I tell everyone to lighten up. It's just a podcast. Trading is like that roller coaster at the amusement park. Thrilling, unpredictable, and potentially stomach-churning. What works for one person might leave another clutching their hat in the wind. Our hosts and guests, they're awesome, knowledgeable, full of insights, but we're not financial advisors. So don't rush to make any investment decisions based solely on our banter. Always consult with a professional or do your own research. Plus, let's face it, we like to have fun, laugh, enjoy the trading ride together. It's all in the name of good podcasting fun. So remember, take it easy, don't bet the farm, and keep your seatbelts on at all times. Thank you for listening. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the China Shop, home of the Band of Traders podcast. My name's Kyle, and today I'm joined by Manuj Aggarwal. Damn, I knew I was going to mess that up. Aggarwal.
Yeah.
I did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got it.
I second-guessed myself in the middle of it there. Manuj is a global thought leader in AI and startups, and normally I'd probably want to pick your brain on AI, but man, you've got such a fascinating story that I just kind of have to hear more about that. Why don't we just kind of jump into that then? So tell me about starting out making $2 an hour on a factory floor and then going to being a global thought leader in the AI space? Like that's crazy.
Actually, it was $2 a day.
$2 a day. Oh my gosh.
So I grew up in small town in India, and this was back in 1980s. Opportunities were very scarce. Opportunities for jobs and education and all of that. So my career started working in this factory, and
what did you guys make?
Nuts and bolts.
Okay, so you're like
industrial.
Side, yeah. Okay. So forging and that kind of stuff, or
correct.
Was it all cut?
Yeah. Forging and furnaces, and it was it's northern part of India, so it's the summers are very very hot, like 120 degrees, 130 degrees, and then you have to work with the furnaces, which are like 2000 degrees, melting hot steel. So
2800, I remember. I used to work in a steel mill for about 8 or 10 years in Arizona so in Phoenix, it get to be about 120, 125 there too. It's miserable.
Exactly.
They say a steel mill is the hottest and coldest place you'll ever work, and sometimes at the same time.
Exactly. So that's, exactly what I'm talking about. So it sort of molded me into somebody who can understand the mechanics of how things progress, because in a factory it's a choreographed synchronicity of this machine, then this machine, then this machine, then this machine. In the entire process, you put in the raw material and out comes the finished product, right?
Yeah.
And you have to do it again and again and again, and if there is any break in the middle, as the entire process stops. And that's very very costly, so you have to be on top of it to make sure that everything is aligned well and the quality is maintained. And then when you work with industrial goods, there is very very precise specifications that you need to meet, and if it's like 0.5 millimeters too big, too small, it's rejected.
Yep.
So that precision got embedded in my mind somehow, but obviously I wanted to change my life. That was not my destiny. So
well, hold on now, we got a lot more material we can mine out of this. So what did you do specifically at the factory? Were you maintenance or production side?
all of it. So I was,
Oh, so you
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
have
So I,
delineated roles like we do here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was like, helping maintain the flow of the material, helping with the repairs of the machines, keeping track of inventory, packaging, and also invoicing, paperwork, all of that.
I
Yeah,
wish
yeah.
I had people like you at the mill I worked at.
Yeah, it was a very cool experience at the time. Obviously, you don't realize what is meant for, and why are you going through this. But then afterwards in life, you realize how much that shaped you. You
Yeah, how
know,
much of that, like learning the troubleshooting methodologies that you probably learned in that, I would
absolutely. Yeah.
assume have helped you in like programming fields and
Oh
those
yeah,
types of
yeah, yeah.
things, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So yeah, and those are the things that you build a good foundation, and then yeah, I mean, uh, at, w- even in the factories, what happened was, I was just sitting at lunchtime one day, and I was flipping through these business magazines, and read these stories of business tycoons who built like empires, and I was like, hey man, like what is so special about these people that they get to do these kind of things, and I'm here in the factory. And so that inspired me to sort of pursue, okay, what can life be like.
Hmm.
And at that moment, obviously didn't know what it means, and what to do about it and where to go from there. But I found that, okay, let me try to look at some of my passions, like what excites me.
Hmm.
And so that led me to search for new avenues of, like, new fields of work, new type of work and study and all that. So
Right, right.
computers and internet were very, very new at that time. I'm talking about like 1994.
Okay, that
And
was. Ooh, I was right in the middle of. I was just getting ready to start high school. I think in a couple of
yeah,
years. At that point,
yeah,
yeah, that was
yeah,
right when they were getting big. 'Cause I think
correct,
we.
correct.
I think I just found internet porn at that point. Oh my god, that. But yeah, I just found the
Yeah,
dark side of the internet at that age. I
yeah, yeah.
think.
So for me, like, at that time there was no internet.
Yeah.
We were in a small town, right? So an
When you say
internet,
small town, what does a small town in India look like?
maybe like 100,000 people, 150,000
that's
people.
that's what you call a small town.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah. But the density is like packed. It's like,
right.
the area will be, maybe like, I don't know how to compare it, but like a small suburb,
Yeah.
small
Okay.
suburb of,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And so here in North America, a small suburb will be like, 5,000, 10,000 people. So
Hmm.
think that much area, but
The
15
same
times more.
area, but just
Yeah,
oh my god! So it's
yeah,
like a downtown.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly, exactly.
Jeez,
Yeah,
man, there's so many people in India.
yeah, yeah.
So how much
So,
competition was there for work then?
oh
Because
my goodness, I like, so if you have, like, you have entrance exams for universities, you have jobs. So literally, if you apply, like, if there is a job opening, you can expect about 1,000 people applying
oh
for it.
wow, for pretty much
Yeah,
any job.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good lord, is that why so many you guys immigrate and
Well, there's, immigration is like the reason, like, it's a spillover of talent, and what that does is, in my opinion, the survival instinct kicks in,
hmm
and you have to excel at it, because out of 1,000 people, 950 will not be even looked at. They're like, oh,
right?
just, they don't even come into the
The resume
consideration.
doesn't look good enough. They
Yeah,
toss it
yeah.
out right off the bat. Yep.
Yeah. So 50, you'll have to jump through many, many, many hoops to do it. So you have to excel at things, and what that does, it creates excellent thinkers, excellent execution people, managers, and those type of, like, most people that excel in India, they are like really top.
You get the cream of the crop because there's so
Yeah,
much competition. But at the
yeah,
the flip side of that is there's a lot of really good people, good ideas that are not able to get
yeah,
funded
yeah,
or get
absolutely,
work
absolutely.
or
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So immigration has been part of India's history, even from colonial times, because when the British ruled India for like 250 years. So they used to ship a lot of people from
Mm-hmm.
India to their colonies to work, like, all over the world.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, with that ancestry, with that heritage, people already were exploring, okay, how do I go out of India? And
So you have less of the people that want to just sit in one spot all the time. Like you've already got the culture and heritage of going
it's
out and
it's all
searching.
yeah, it's everywhere, like,
Hmm.
all kinds of people, like, people who want to stay in their homeland and their in the place of birth.
Yeah, so I'm not
But
like that at all. I've
yeah,
always been the wherever they're going to pay me, I'm going there.
yeah. So when you have like 1.3 billion people, you have all shades of humanity. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
what we see. The thing is, what we see outside of India, like immigrants and all that, it's like a very tiny percent, maybe 0.5% of Indians
Right,
in India. But
right.
yet there are so many, when you see all over the world, you say, oh my God, like so many Indians immigrate, you know.
Well, I know
Yeah.
I thought a lot of it was coming just to take advantage of like the education system that we have here, but India has actually been really on the rise as far as
Oh yeah.
building out their infrastructure, education, industry.
Yeah.
Like when I left the steel mill, we were actually starting to buy our electrodes from HEG, which is
Yeah.
located in your country,
Yeah.
because they made a really good product for much
Yeah.
cheaper. And I think they're
Yeah.
starting
Yeah.
to close the gap now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now India is growing at faster rate than North America.
Yeah, well, a
So
lot of things are growing faster than us,
yeah,
but
yeah,
developed nations don't tend to
yeah.
continue growing as far as population goes. It
Correct,
seems.
correct.
Yeah.
Not just population, like, they have launched, like, they launched the satellite, sorry, rocket to the other side of the moon.
Oh,
And
was you guys landed one on Mars too, didn't you? Didn't you? Like that was like 3 or 4 years ago. It cost like $3 million to send a
correct,
thing to.
exact,
How the fuck did you
yeah,
guys do that for
yeah,
three
yeah, yeah,
million?
yeah. So that's the thing, like scrappiness is
Yeah,
inbuilt in, like, this is my story as well, like, going from $2 a day, like
yeah.
talk, being at the global level. It's all scrappiness, like, okay, like let's focus on the fundamentals, not let's not focus on the bells and whistles,
Hmm.
because you just can't afford it, and you learn to, like, really be resourceful in everything that you do.
Feel like the steel industry is a great place to learn how to be resourceful
Yeah,
too. Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
mentioned,
yeah,
the only thing that matters is getting that production line up and running. If you got to
yeah,
string out contactors and buckets to make a system work for the next 6 hours so you can get your scheduled outage, like you do it. And man,
yeah,
you
exactly.
get some really creative problem solving going on
Oh
there.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then,
But sorry, but you said it wasn't for you though. So what? Talk to me about the getting out and finding something better. Computer programming. I
yes,
think you said you
yeah,
mentioned.
computer programming. Yeah. So computer programming was like, I didn't know where it's gonna lead me. I was sort of like saying, okay, hey, I'm doing all these invoicing and paperwork. Like, I saw that, okay, things will get computerized. So let me just learn a little bit about computers. But when I started programming like simple programs, I was like, okay, this is what I love doing. And
Hmm.
I was like, in the lab computer, because we had shared computers. It was not like one on one.
Yeah.
So we had to book time to get access to the computer. So I used to like beg all my friends, hey, please, can you give me your time so I can just, so
And this was expensive too, right? The class
yeah,
that you signed up
yeah,
for, I think you
yeah.
said it was like a year's salary.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
Ooh.
So I could
How do
not,
you make that investment though? Like, did you have family at the time, or were you kind of on your
yeah,
own
I
and
mean,
able to do it?
I had family, but I used some shady method. Like, I'm not proud of, what I had to do. You
You
know,
said resourcefulness, right?
yeah, exactly, exactly. So and, like the first year I could not, and then the second year I saved enough to, like, so do it. And then I took full advantage of it. I spent like hours and hours. Like sometimes I'll go at nighttime and spend a lot of time just programming and just, like immersing myself into programming. So I knew that is what my path was, and I wanted to do that.
Did I see you met your wife there too?
Yeah. So,
Oh, that's
um,
awesome.
yeah. So I met my now, yeah, girlfriend, and now she became my wife. Now she's my ex-wife. So,
Oh
but
no.
anyway, yeah. So
Sorry, I didn't mean to draw that
no, no,
out.
it's
Should have
all
read a
good.
little
It's
deeper.
no, no, it's all good. So yeah, so all of that sort of combined together, changed the trajectory of my life, and then I came to Canada, and this was the dot com boom time,
Hmm.
and it was very easy to get into the software industry and
Yeah, they were throwing
make
money at
rapid.
everything at that point in time.
Correct, correct. Yeah.
I think anything could have gotten funded during those days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the funny thing is, like, the first boss I had, he launched a company. It was like almost like a predecessor to Amazon, so very
Mm,
much similar concept. And at one point, his company was valued at $600 million, like
yeah.
right at launch. This was 1999, and
Oh.
yeah, so
Where is it at now?
zero.
Yeah. I hope he sold some of that.
No, no, yeah, it was not a good story for him as well. But for me, it was a brand new world, like, coming to
Yeah.
North America and just saying, oh, how like culture shock, and then, how the business works and all of that.
What
Um,
were some of the differences that stood out to you then? I'm always kind of
I mean,
curious about that.
less competition, more opportunity, bigger numbers, like, right away, your mind starts to think, because Indian currency is like, even at that time, today is like 50 to 1. So,
Hmm.
one
That's the
dollar.
rupee?
Yeah, one,
Okay.
yeah, 1 rupee. So, so imagine, like, $2 a day is $2 a day sounds like below poverty line, but over there you could survive with
Right.
$2 a day.
Yeah.
So when you come here, it's like, oh my God, like the minimum wage is like $15 an hour, and
Right.
like you start to multiply. Oh my goodness, like, that's, I'm rich. I'm rich. You know.
Man, I never heard anybody explain it like that. But man, yeah, but then you're probably kind of shocked by the cost of living of everything. Then I'm assuming.
Yeah, but our human mind is very flexible. It's
Hmm.
very, very flexible. So when you start to think you are rich, then your lifestyle starts to adjust towards that. Yes, cost of living is high,
Hmm.
but then you are able to afford a home with two bedrooms
Hmm.
and like decent meals. You can afford a car. You can, eat out sometimes. You know,
All things that we consider standard things or
yeah.
even essentials here, not necessarily. Those are actually luxuries.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct, exactly. So your mind start to like mold in that way because these are luxuries. In fact,
Hmm.
survival is humans can survive. Like I have seen, like life up close, and you cannot, like most people cannot imagine what conditions exist in this world for humans
Yes.
to survive. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. One of the things that I hear I just recently heard about this actually. There's a
Mm.
culture shock from people who come over, to from other countries. One of the things that tends to shock them the most is a grocery store. Did you have
Mm,
a
mm,
similar experience walking into a
mm,
grocery
mm,
store for
mm,
the first
mm.
time? What was that like?
It's like abundance. It's like, you
Right?
know it's like, my goodness, man, like you can pretty much buy anything. Nobody's like, and you can just pick up stuff, go to the counter and pay for it, like because in India, like, you have small stores,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to say, okay, I want this, and the store owner will go in the back of the store, like even groceries,
Yeah.
so you have to know exactly what you want. Like you can't just like roam around and say, okay, oh,
Oh,
I
you
feel
don't
like
get to
that.
pick the best pieces out there that
Mm,
you like. You
no,
just
no,
kind of get what the.
you
Oh, you
could
can't.
pick,
Okay.
but you could pick a little bit, but you have to know exactly what you're looking for. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so but now there are, big supermarkets in India as well.
Right.
At that time it was like, okay, this is like luxury, again, luxury, abundance.
Mm-hmm.
You have almost like, your world view starts to shift. It's like, your standards are so high, all of a sudden,
Mm-hmm.
and almost like it's unfair in some ways,
Yeah.
honestly speaking, because like look at supermarkets, like they'll throw away good produce if it doesn't look good, if
Right.
it does, if the color is not right, if it's like, and that's like adding to the cost of
Right. Yes.
what we eat. But so you start to notice these nuances in the world and how it's all set up, and in the way at a global level, we enjoy a luxury here that is funded by the rest of the world in some fashion,
Hmm.
you know because
Yeah.
everything is made in China here.
Right.
But the reason why we are able to afford those luxuries is because every step of the way the standard of living keeps going down and down and down and down, and the person who is actually manufacturing it, sitting in China or India or Vietnam or Philippines or Bangladesh, they are living at a very, very low standard of life to
But
be able.
I did hear a good argument from an economist who said the flip side of that is that that's lifting up all the other markets too, if you
No,
look at it that way.
I'm not. I'm not criticizing anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, yeah, I'm just trying to give both sides of that,
yeah, 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 yeah.
both arguments at least, because I see,
Absolutely.
I struggle with the same thing. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's like feels like we're being our lifestyle is funded on the struggles of the rest of the world, but
yeah. And it's not like everything is permanent in this world.
yes,
If you look at the history, for example, Netherlands used to be a superpower.
right. So did Portugal,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
Spain.
exactly.
Yeah,
Spain, exactly. And now, if you go to these countries, even though they are part of the European Union, they're not as well to do.
yeah, yeah.
So it's all a cycle. And now, like, think about China. Like 30 years ago, it used to be peasant community.
Hmm.
But now it's a superpower. You
Right,
know,
right.
Even in India, as I said, like 30 years ago, it was like a totally different country. Now it is like one of the top 7 countries, in
Yeah.
the world. Um,
I actually look at India as being a bigger
yeah,
challenge, I think, to
yeah.
world powers.
I think they are playing it very nicely. They are sort of like friends with everyone,
Yeah.
and that's the Indian way, anyways. Like Indians are generally very, very accommodating to
Hmm.
to different viewpoints, and are able to form alliances even with different.
Well, I mean, look at the way the countries, even the politics in your country. You have like what, 20 some political parties. You have
Oh yeah, yeah,
more than 20 languages, I think, in the country. So yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah,
have to be able to work with different
yeah,
backgrounds, different cultures, even
correct.
because
Yeah.
it's even more diverse, I think, than the U.S. is, and the U.S. is considered
Oh,
pretty diverse.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Longtime fans of the show should be familiar with the lender formerly known as Sue Pullen, and I'm pleased to announce that she's back, fresh off a rebrand and ready to help as Sue Mackey. Sue is a certified mortgage advisor at Fairway Independent Mortgage, an equal housing lender who focuses on finding the right product for you and your needs. She has over 20 years of experience helping thousands of homeowners. Whether it's purchasing, refinancing, or even a reverse mortgage, Sue will help. Sue's licensed in 36 states now, so reach out and let Sue Mackey it happen for you. The best way to reach her is just give her a call at 520-977-7904 or in an email, spullen@fairwaymc.com. Fairway Independent Mortgage has an MLS number of 2289. Sue Mackey has an MLS number of 206048. That email again, spullen@fairwaymc.com, and that phone number is 520-977-7904. Shoot Sue an email and let her know she needs to update that address.
Yeah, yeah. So these are the things that work for India,
Mm-hmm.
and coming from there, here it was a culture shock. But the thing is, now when I go back, I get another culture shock because it has
Right.
progressed so rapidly that I don't recognize that
Oh,
country
right.
anymore.
Right.
In many ways, it's more advanced. Like if you like here, we say, oh, let me order something on Amazon, it'll show up like the same day or the next day, and that's like fantastic. Over there it's like 30 minutes, okay, at your door. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, yeah,
Well, you mean you gotta compete, right, to stand out.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that's kind
yeah,
of what the point. Yeah, that makes
yeah.
sense.
30 minutes, and then the
Right.
the guy the guy will go up 20 set of stairs, like they will treat you like royalty.
Right.
Yeah, so And so yeah, it's fantastic to see how the world is changing overall.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit more then about what you're doing now then. So how'd you go from programming schools then to global thought leader in the AI, even referenced by, I think, President Obama, I think, referenced you in a speech?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So explain that
not
gap.
not not to be precise, not me, but my work.
Your work.
The
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Bill Gates mentioned it. Obama mentioned it. So what happened is, as I said earlier, like the mindset of precision
Hmm.
and scale that got embedded into my DNA in the factory. Now, going into technology, I'm always looking for what's next.
Hmm.
Okay, it's the engineer in me is always curious. Okay, let me get into this. This is new technology. So I started getting into like building startups, helping people build their technology. So that was all cool. It's just fun for me.
Yeah.
Then I started getting into AI in 2005, and
2005.
yeah, yeah,
What did
yeah.
AI look like then?
So AI, a lot of people don't understand that AI has been around since the 1960s, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back then, it's just an evolution of technology. So think about cars. How were they back in 2005? Like Bluetooth a speaker in a car was like, oh my god, like this is
Right.
fantastic new technology that I can talk on the phone while driving. And now it's like you could live in a car today.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's equivalent of that. AI used to be like really like primitive. The amount of data that you had access to was primitive. The amount of compute power you had was
This was before algorithms, or were
no,
they
no.
still using algorithms at this point?
Algorithms have always
Okay.
been
But
AI.
the computing power is probably just not there yet to be able to
Yeah,
fully take advantage of it.
correct.
Okay.
But even at that time, like we were able to create some really meaningful technologies like
Yeah.
adaptive learning, meaning the very first project in 2005, like we did was in a classroom of 50 students, everybody in a normal classroom gets the same curriculum. But with AI, we were able to understand that some students are further ahead, some students are needing more help. So we were able to personalize the curriculum in the same classroom for each student.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So
Why did that not take off?
no, no, it took off. Like it got bought out by a billion-dollar company, and they are implementing it at universities.
They
So
are? Oh,
yeah, 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 yeah,
they need to do
yeah,
that sooner, though. Grade school.
yeah. Well, believe it or not, as far as it sounds from the outset like the technology moves really, really fast, but um, adaptation of technology is not that as
Always.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. The
So.
last steel mill I worked at, you want to talk about, it was built in like the 1800s.
Mm-hmm,
They're
mm-hmm,
still
mm-hmm,
using Excel spreadsheets for their level 2
mm-hmm,
system. They have
mm-hmm.
no
Yeah,
level
yeah.
2.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it takes time to get technology in the hands of people.
Yeah, because there's a cost to converting to the new technology that, man, you want to talk about something that creates a lot of inertia like that right there. That is a really
Yeah,
hard thing to get people to commit to. Because
correct,
then you got
correct.
to learn the new systems, and then you got to spend the money, and then you got like the learning period for the first year or two while everyone tries to figure out how it works.
Yeah, there's lots that happens between creating the technology and then adopting it. And
Yeah.
as you said, like money and security, job security of people, their own personal kind of
Yeah. Yes. Right.
agendas. And that's what we see with AI today as well. Like a lot of people pushing back on AI, thinking that, oh, it's going to take away my job and all of that.
Yeah, we talked
So
about that not too long ago, and I just don't. I don't see the jobs that it's going to take away are the jobs that are always in danger of being taken away. But it
mm,
opens up a lot more new jobs if you just go and now's the time to go and learn how these systems and things
yeah,
work so you can go and be the guy to fix it when it breaks.
correct, correct. Not only that, but when I like speaking about job, like when I talk to people and I say, okay, what is your plan with your job? Like, what is it that you want?
Hmm.
They're like, I want to work hard. I want to get more promotions. I want to like rise to the top, and then when I'm like 65, I want to retire. So I'm like, okay, so how about you get there in next 5 years rather
Right.
than next 30 years, you know,
Right.
and you earn 10 times more, and you get promoted to a, next level, next level, next level. They're like, oh yeah, that's how can I do that? So I'm like, okay, well, how can you do that is like, you create more value for your employer.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do you create more value? You could either work 80 hours a week, or you can figure out a way to do more in the same amount of time.
Yeah. Doing more for less is also a
Yeah,
way to create value.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now, does that make sense how AI can help you? Because if you use AI, you will be able to produce 5 times more value in half the time,
Yes.
and that
Yes.
that's your path to promotions and success and money and all of that, and your retirement, early retirement. Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's not about AI taking your job away. It's about somebody else, as you said, somebody else who knows AI will take your job away because
Yes,
they'll
because
be
he
able
knows how
to.
to use it and do it
Exactly,
better and
exactly.
quicker.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, AI is just a time saver right now. AI is not good at creating new innovative content or new innovative things. At least from what I've
Actually,
seen. It's not
no,
as
no,
good
no.
at that.
It's how, like, think of it this way, right? Let's say you're 18 years old and I give you a Ferrari,
Mm-hmm.
and or a Formula One racing car. Now you're 18. You could probably drive it, but you're gonna run into like all kinds of like,
Everything.
yeah,
Yeah, but I've run
you
into
know.
everything with
So
it.
it's like a waste of all that engineering horsepower and all of that
Yeah.
to give that machine to an 18-year-old. Now, that 18-year-old can go to a race car school and get really really good at driving a car like that, and now it's a it's like you can become a champion,
Mm-hmm.
and win races. So the idea behind AI is such a powerful force that you need to learn how to get the most value. So when you say creativity, think about creativity. What is creativity? Is like, we are not humans are not inherently like, okay, I can just create something with magic.
Mm-hmm.
It's about working with ideas that have been existing in the past, like ideas build upon ideas,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Okay.
think of a simple example. Let's say I'm a physician, let's say I'm a doctor, right?
Yep.
So I went to school for 10 years, worked my ass off, and I learned all about medicine. Now, if I want to be creative, there are many other fields of study that I can incorporate into my art, or my profession. So
Mm-hmm.
think traditional Chinese medicine, think acupuncture, think
Okay.
Ayurveda. So these are fields of study that have been around for thousands and thousands of years. But I have no time or energy to go deeper into these fields and learn Western medicine. But now with AI, I can say, hey, I'm dealing with a patient and they have this, and this. I want to be able to perform a surgery on them, but also supplement their healing with, acupuncture.
Right.
So now I can use AI to create mix these ideas and create something new.
Hmm.
You know,
I don't know if using it in the medical field is necessarily the place I'd want to start with mixing and matching and those kinds of things, but I
okay,
get your point. I get your point, though.
let's take a simple example. So I was on a meditation retreat this weekend. Yeah. So
Okay.
there was a chef there, who made absolutely fantastic meals for 2 days, and there were 18 people in the retreat. Some people had allergies to nuts, some people had allergies to this, and
I know where you're
so
going with this.
yeah.
It is
So
brilliant.
yeah. So the chef has to do a lot of work to figure out what ingredients he can play with to create
Mm-hmm.
the meals for 2 days. And now with AI, like, you could just put in everything into AI and say, hey, give me some recipes that will satisfy everybody's desires and be compatible.
I saw that in a LinkedIn post I think you'd done a couple weeks ago or a week
Yeah,
ago.
correct.
I thought that was a brilliant idea. In
Yeah,
fact, the wife and I were talking about doing something similar, but for just dinner. Like
yeah, yeah.
hey, just take inventory of what's in your fridge and say, hey, what can I do with these ingredients for the next week?
Exactly.
Because,
Exactly.
yeah, dinner decision fatigue is a real thing.
You could actually, they just OpenAI, ChatGPT and other AI platforms released this new feature in the last couple of weeks where you could actually just take a phone, turn on the video, and you don't even have to type anymore.
Hmm.
You can just say, "Hey, this is my fridge. These are the ingredients. Just figure out what
Right,
it is and give me some recipe." It'll just like scan it and
right.
figure out, oh, you have like these mayonnaise, they have these pickles, they have this chicken, and you gonna do something like that with it.
There was another idea you had that was mentioned in your pitch. You talked about using AI to manage or to be more aware of emotions. Am I
Yeah. Yeah,
thinking of that right?
that's right. That's right. So that's my core work. That is my like, yeah.
Damn it. You took my
Yeah.
idea, huh? That was my $1 million idea, but I've been trying to find someone to code it for me.
Yeah, no, well, it's actually, it could be, I'm not, I'm biased here a little bit, but it could be like a $1 trillion
Oh,
idea.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what is
because
yours idea? Let me hear your version. Let me see how it matches the one
so,
I had in my head.
well, okay, so at the fundamental level, our world is based on two things: products and services. So
Hmm.
when you go in the market, you either buy a product or you buy a service.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, why you're buying that is to satisfy an urge, an emotion that you want to feel.
Hmm.
So, if you're feeling hungry, you buy food. But you buy food that will really satisfy your, not just hunger, but your
That
desire for a certain
current
taste.
desire that you have.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Let's say you buy a car, you buy a red, flashy sports car, and the reason why you buy that car is, obviously from to go from one point to another. But the reason why you pick a red, flashy sports car is to satisfy inner desire.
Yeah.
And these desires are emotions, unfulfilled emotions that you want to feel.
Hmm.
Okay, so if you think about it, the whole economy is based on emotions and intermediate steps to get to those emotions.
Yep. I would agree with that.
Okay,
Yep.
now with AI, you could actually manufacture those emotions in your psyche without going through a product or service.
Oh, you're doing this completely opposite of what I had in mind. Okay.
Okay, well,
Okay, so
okay.
you're using, oh, wow, that's interesting. No, the idea I had, and I'm going to make sure I say this on microphone so I have the recording, but I may bleep it
Mm,
all out so it
mm.
doesn't get stolen. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want something that takes control of my webcam, analyzes my face and emotions in real time while I'm trading in the market, and gives me an analysis of what emotion I'm currently being dictated by in this moment.
Well, it's I am not here to burst your bubble, but this is already available.
Okay, that's fine. Where is it? Where can I get
um,
it?
you go, start your Zoom, and there are a bunch of plugins. Like there is one that I use, Read.ai.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Did not
Zoom has
expect that.
plugins, and then they will analyze your emotions in real time. It's
Yeah.
meant for meetings, but then it will also tell you what is going on with the
Morphcast is what it
yeah.
looks like. Attention trap. Man, okay. Yeah, you gave me something to play with. That'll work. All right, I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so all kinds of things are going to be possible with AI, as you can see, but my work revolves around creating these emotions, self-awareness, self-image. Like my focus for the next decades, few decades will be for the next 5 years. I'm looking to help a few people and
Mm-hmm.
use my methodologies and set them up to win a Nobel Prize.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
That's a good goal. I like that.
yeah, so and my life mission is to help 20 such Nobel Prizes in my
20.
lifetime. Yeah,
You think you can get to 20? What's the record?
there is no record. This is a crazy idea.
Sounds like you need to get somebody on the board.
Yeah. No, I have good people
Oh,
around
all
me.
right, all right.
Yeah.
So how far is your project the one that you're kind of teasing there? How far is that in development? Does that
It's
have
it's
a
pretty.
prototype? Does it have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
product for sale now, or?
Yeah. It's we have a prototype. We have tested it in the market. We have in the business scenarios, it has done very, very well. We have a lot of testimonials. People have multiplied their income levels. People have
What's the name
started.
of it?
It's called AI Merge. It's a
Yeah.
product that we are offering. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a website for it?
Yeah. Go to tetranoodle.com.
Okay, I saw that on your LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Crowley, Christian Crowley? I just talked to him like a week or two ago about Sanctum AI, which they're building language learning models that are offline that you basically can run on your computer, so you don't
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah.
let big data steal all your ideas. And
Sure. Yeah. There's going to be like tons and tons of AI models coming out. Like think like shoe brands or shirt brands or car brands. It's going to be very similar
yeah,
world full of AI models.
are they going to be all specific, like for very specific instances? Are they all going to be
Exactly.
competing with each other?
Well, think about a car.
Yeah,
If you buy a Toyota versus Honda, maybe one has four cup holders and another one has five cup holders. You
right.
know,
Maybe one gets better gas mileage, and the other
yeah,
one has
exactly.
better engine
Yeah,
life or
yeah,
maintenance costs.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And one thing, you brought up stealing ideas. I want to address that. Like, trust me, I have been in this for
Nobody
decades.
steals your ideas.
Even if they steal it, it's execution that counts.
hmm
And even if they are good at execution, your fingerprint is going to be different than their fingerprint.
Yep.
Okay, so innovation and technology, it thrives with competition, with innovation. So yeah, so I will recommend people to now, especially now with AI. Okay, the whole thing about intellectual property and patents and nobody stealing my idea, I think it's a thing of the past.
Yep. Well, and to be honest, like you could tell your idea to many people. The chances that any of them are actually going to try to do anything with it is very,
Exactly.
very small. It's
Exactly.
your project. It's your idea. Nobody really is going to steal your idea.
Exactly. I mean, even if they steal it, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
their fingerprint will be different. And
You know,
think about it.
honestly, I'd be happy just to have the product.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So think Elon Musk. He invested like billions into Tesla, and
hmm
then he open sourced all his patents. Like
Oh.
all the patents are available freely to anybody to use.
hmm
And what that did was it created an electric vehicle industry that helped Tesla become
Right.
the biggest car company.
Oh, wow. That's fascinating. Huh. It's embracing the competition.
hmm hmm
Smart.
Yeah. So this is, these are, and then with AI, it's like, AI today, ChatGPT has an IQ of about 155.
hmm
Okay. Einstein had an IQ of 170.
Yep.
Okay. In the next year, ChatGPT and other AI platforms are going to have IQ of about 1,000.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So so when we think, oh, ideas are dime a dozen. Intelligence is a commodity now.
Execution is what matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Execution
Exactly.
is what matters. That's a great point, and I think that's probably a good spot to put an end to this.
Mhm.
Anything else that you want to leave people with? Any other places you want to point them to for
Um,
resources?
yeah, just connect with me. Visit my website, tetranoodle.com, or connect with me on LinkedIn if you are interested in anything that I said, or if you want to, like, really embrace AI and really, really, like, take advantage. I mean, there is going to be more billionaires made in the next 5 years than any time in history.
Yep, and that's not just because of inflation.
Correct. Exactly. So if people want to take advantage of this opportunity, discuss some ideas, or just like really embrace this technology, reach out to me, and then yeah, we'll chat.
All right, I love it, man. Please, everyone, join me in thanking our guests for stopping by Christmas week. Make sure you check out Manuj's links in the show notes if you want to say thank you personally like that. You can stay up to date with the podcast by visiting bandoftraderspodcast.com, where you can find all the deals and discounts we collected over the years. I will be back soon with another exciting episode for you to like, share, and subscribe. Till then, have a great holiday weekend.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. It does not constitute financial or investment advice and should not be construed as such. The hosts, guests, and contributors of this podcast are not licensed financial advisors, brokers, or professionals. Any trading or investment decisions made based on the content of this podcast are solely at the listener's discretion and risk. Trading and investing in financial markets carry inherent risks, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Listeners should conduct their own research and seek advice from qualified financial professionals before making any financial decisions. The views, opinions, and information shared in this podcast are those of the individual contributors and do not necessarily reflect the views or policies of the podcast creators or associated organizations.